Friday, September 27th, comedian and businessman Bill Connolly came to speak to Temple University's American Marketing Association.
Comedy is a way to learn a lot of the skills that you need to be successful in life. Just in communicating with other people, connecting with other people. I say to a lot of people, once you say a joke in front of 200 people and nobody laughs at you, then approaching someone at a networking event is no longer scary whatsoever. So that experience led me to my book, Funny Business, and Build Your Soft Skills Through Comedy. And soft skills, I'm sure you've heard, is the buzzword kind of for the more intangible skills that you'll need in the workplace. In business and in school and in life, there's too much no, there's too much yes but, because people are so tied into their own agenda that they don't want to build on the ideas of other people for fear of themselves being seen as weaker or less intelligent or less successful. So that's the first lesson. In improv, the only wrong choice is no choice. There's a lot of things about improv. One of my instructors says, but the only thing that's real and true is that it has to be now. You can't go back and write something and think of something clever to say. If you're in front of a live audience, you're making up the scene as you go. It has to be now, whatever it is. You have to choose it now. So in the world of business, in the world of, I assume you guys are all interested in marketing or some form of business, or you just needed an extracurricular to put on your resume, you need to say yes more. Yes and. Help to build up other people, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, instead of always focusing on your own, on your own path and your own plight. This is a quote from my book. I just took a bunch of quotes and put them out there that I liked. Nobody says you can do comedy. You don't have to talk to Bill Cosby and get his permission to perform. So for instance, if you're in a role that you don't like, or you're in a group that you don't like, then change it. You might have to work your ass off at it. You might have to go outside of the normal 9 to 5 or the normal schedule that you have to do it. But there are ways around things that you don't like in your life. So you don't have to ask permission anymore. That's the great thing about technology that it's given us, is that you don't have to. You can just do things. So I would invite all of you, no matter what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life, even if you don't know, because that's okay as well, to just do things and figure them out later. And that'll be a central theme that we'll talk about. You can find the few people who will support that effort and draw on them. Do stuff. Just do stuff. It sounds simple, but especially in this generation, and I suffer from it. I suffered from it way before before I wrote a book, which made me at least calm down a little bit. It's this idea of a unfulfilled potential, and I'm sure all of you have experienced this. I know that I could be doing something great. I just don't know what it is. What should I be doing? Oh, I'm sitting here watching a movie. I could be applying to an internship. I could be doing this. I could be doing that. Sure, you could be, but you're not doing those things. So people also get this sense that if they do something, they should have done something different, or they're doing the wrong thing, or they're wasting their time. As long as you're constantly doing something, that's okay. It'll eventually work its way out into something meaningful. The only wrong choice is no choice. And one of the quotes that I love from Mark Twain is, in 20 years, you'll regret the things you didn't do far more than the things that you did do. Because that's true. Even if you fail at something or do something that's, you look back and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? It's at least a funny story, right? I mean, I bought a timeshare in the Dominican like 3 months ago. Dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. Honestly, crippled me financially. But it's funny, right? You guys just laughed at it. So for me, it works.
Bill Connolly is one of the most interesting people I've met, and he told me to not take things too seriously.
One of the great quotes I have here for a guy named Jeffrey Hazlett, who I saw speak at a conference. He was a former CMO of Eastman Kodak. It's not an operating room that you guys are in. If you're in this room, you're probably going to be in business, and that's certainly not that important. It really isn't. You guys aren't doctors, You might do some awesome stuff. And I can say that because I'm in business too. So, but the things that you can do in business, the things you can achieve, and the lives you can change are still incredible. But the mistakes that you're going to make aren't likely to be that catastrophic. And that's not to say don't do your job and don't work hard and don't hold yourself to a high standard, because that's not what I mean at all. That's what will set you apart from others. And that's what you should strive for. But people get so bent out of shape when they do these things, and they beat themselves up and they say, well, I'm no good. I made one mistake, I'm no good. And it's not true. Everyone makes mistakes, and we'll get to that. Women have a tendency to downplay their own intelligence, and men have a tendency to play it up more than what it is. And for me, that's definitely true. But I think that's something that's instilled in women, in our society. It's not that they're not as ambitious. There's a New York Times article in 2003 that suggested that women don't succeed as much as men because they don't want to. And I don't think that's it. It's that women are conditioned not to believe in themselves. And I see that with friends of mine, people who I mentor. They say, oh man, this job came up, it's really great. I think I should take a class to learn it. Whereas a man would be like, yeah, I'm not qualified, let's sign me up, And I think that somewhere in the middle of that is where people need to fall, So for men, have some humility, have some understanding and recognition of your qualifications, but still go out there. And for women, believe in yourselves. Go out there and be ambitious and grab hold of the world, because it is your world. There's more of you in colleges now than there are of us. And women certainly have the capacity to lead. In comedy, we caution against going for the joke, which is, again, trying to get to the end before you need to get there. Improv isn't about comedy. It's often funny, because life is funny, but when I get caught doing a joke, they'll say, don't do that. Start the scene over and just do it right. And I say a joke because let's say, what are you guys, the owls, temple owls? So let's say I was doing a show for you, and I would pander to the crowd. So I'd be like, oh no, my bird is sick. Too bad it's not as cool as a temple owl. And everyone would be like, yeah, because we're from Temple. And that would be an example of me not doing good comedy. Me just pandering to the crowd and going for the joke. And that happens a lot, and I do it sometimes when I'm bombing out there. I'm like, oh, I gotta just find something to make them laugh quick. But it's not the way to do it. And the same thing goes in life. There's no quick wins. Nothing trumps hard work. Trust me, I've tried. Nothing trumps hard work. If you work hard, opportunities will present themselves to you. How often do you hear somebody be like, oh, I got this, I'm so busy. Oh wow, cool, good for you, man. We're all busy. We're all busy. I heard Ariana Huffington speak in Boston a few weeks ago, and she was talking about sleep. She's big on sleep, and one of her jokes was sleep your way to the top. Because you gotta sleep to be interesting and to do things. And she said she had dinner with a guy a couple of weeks before, and he was bragging about he had only got three hours of sleep the night before. So I only got 3 hours of sleep the night before because I was so busy being awesome. And she was like, well, maybe if you got 4, this conversation would be more interesting. Which I don't know if she actually said that to him, but it made for a good story. But it's true. Stress has become a status symbol, and people are expected to just deal with their problems and not face them head on. I started seeing a psychiatrist about a year ago. I had a really tough time, and I was very open about it because, again, I don't see why people have to, I'm clearly better. I wrote a book, so I'm doing okay. But, there were people who came up to me and said, hey, just so you know, I'm also seeing a psychiatrist, but don't tell anybody or I'll kill you. And I was like, 5 of you just did that in one room to me. Why can't we just talk about our problems and everybody would be better off for it? So that's my plug there. If you do find that you're stressed, you're anxious, you feel like everyone else around you is perfect and you're not, trust me, they're not. Face your problems head on, talk with each other, find support systems. They will help you as you grow older and as you face challenges because everyone has been there. Trust me.
I really enjoyed Bill Connolly's speech. One of the tips that stuck out to me most was fail hard. I think being a college student, I am going to have some failures, whether I like it or not. But his words inspired me to just try my best, and whatever happens, happens.
Fear of failure crushes all creativity. We all are taught to be perfect all the time, and you don't have to be. So I challenge you all to be comfortable with vulnerability. Put yourself out in a position where you fail hard, and don't fail mediocre. Fail hard. One of my teachers, Matt Catanzano, he talks about failing hard. The worst feeling you can have as a comedian is when you come off stage and it's like, that performance was okay. Either kill it or really do bad. Because then when you come off stage, it's like, that was awful. And now I can learn from it and I have a cool story. But if you just do okay, that's the worst feeling. Failure is one of the best tools that anyone can use to succeed. Everyone fails. You have to or you're not credible. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough.
Thanks Bill Connolly.